The pandemic probably has made us more aware of death than in many of our own lifetimes. And even in our community, in our religious community, we had 10 men die this year basically from the pandemic. And so we search also for what does our faith do to the fact that people die? What do Catholics bring to the funeral? What do Catholics bring to the death scene? And I begin with a faith in God who promised us eternal life. Does anybody understand what those words mean? In our faith, it means that as God begins, so we begin. We are never, never, never outside of God's thoughts, of God's imagination, of God's life. And eternal life starts, and this is a pretty dangerous thing to say, it starts at the beginning when God begins, because we are never, never, never outside of God's embrace, never. And so what happens to the life, to eternal life, is that in time, we actually drop into this world. We actually take on what we would call a mortal life, a limited life. And in that life, challenges, joys, celebrations, but we bring that same attention to the fact that we live in God. The fact that we are pro-life means that we will never forget that life is the greatest gift we've ever been given. It is the most important thing we have, and that our job is to nourish it, to protect it, to foster it. And so when we come to a funeral, when we come to a death scene, what we bring is this faith that says, God, life is changed, not ended. It started at the beginning, a mystery that we don't understand. It continues in this life, and then it continues into eternity. And that faith supports us, holds us up. It does not remove the sorrow of somebody's passing. It doesn't remove the tragedy of somebody being killed in an automobile accident. It doesn't remove the tragedy that we face every day. But it is an underpinning of our lives. It helps us, if you want to understand, it helps us walk through those difficult moments. They are difficult and they are tragic. But at the same time, we have a faith that carries us. It's the same faith that allowed Jesus to face his mission. It's the same faith that allowed Mary to face her mission. It is a faith that we carry. And we as Catholics bring that faith to this world. How we do it every day, how we do it with our friends and relatives changes as we are. But the truth is, it is a reality of our faith, and we will not give up the fact that we began and continue and go forth in God's presence, never leaving it.